like you were saying earlier about the whole black pill thing, you get to a point with training, you plateau, and then it's just kind of like holding on for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying I believe that, but I obviously there are individuals, myself included to a degree, that you can always improve in some dimension with training over time. How do you think about that? Do you think about it like, you know what, I've maximized my muscle mass, my body composition. I'm keeping the table set, as Skylar would say. I'm training. I'm getting all the benefits, the myokine secretion, all the benefits that come from exercise. But I'm just really just maintaining. Or I've heard, I might be misquoting here. I know we've done a podcast with Luke before, and he's talked about improvements in like muscle architecture. So I'm just wondering if there are other markers, other variables that do improve with training over the long term. Maybe not muscle hypertrophy, maybe grams. I don't know. Other aspects. How do you think about that? And any thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think probably this comes down to as well whether any of these kind of external markers or measures that we can take on ourselves as individuals are useful aids in motivating us. One of the things I try to very clearly differentiate between as well, and people struggle with this concept, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to communicate this, is the causal effects of the intervention that you're doing, which sometimes are so small, may be real, but you can't see them because any kind of measurements you're taking, the error in those measurements will exceed the that anyway. So in an individual, it's difficult to tell whether any improvement has necessarily been because of that one thing that you did in a whole gamut of other things. No matter how well you control everything, it's just almost an impossible inference to make. So personally, like I don't even think necessarily about outcomes anymore, and haven't for a long time in my own personal training. I was actually talking to a PhD student recently, because they feel like they came in all but right bushy tailed, the full like curtain pulled up, and like this is not how the sausage is made. They're all terrible, and yeah, they've just been like at the black pill bottle, just like don't worry, I'm fully bought in, but now what do I do? Do I carry on training or not? And I was saying, for me, like I don't necessarily go in and train. Like I told you before, like I haven't recorded my workouts for years.
Right.
I haven't measured anything for years, other than like I weigh myself every morning, and I've been pretty much stable body weight for a long time. And it's a bit period where I pigged out. Pigging out for me is like, oh no, I put on like 2 kilos. Really, I think about, I liken it a bit like brushing your teeth. Everyone brushes their teeth every morning. It's just a part of what you do. And for me, like training is like that. But also at the same time, I don't stress out if I miss a training session, but I really enjoy the process of going in and training. For me, it's almost like my meditation. And so I love Skylar's analogy of like keeping the table set. Like I know it's keeping the table set, but I'm not even thinking about that over time. For me, like I go in just because I enjoy the training. And it doesn't matter whether I'm improving from workout to workout anymore, because I'm pretty much not.
It's just a pump. I get it. It's the pump.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even the pump. It's just for me, and everyone knows I'm a bit of a masochist anyway. But I just like going in and having that brief period of time where I challenge myself and push myself to a limit. Yeah, so I've realized recently, like that's what I do it for. And it's like a mental reset. Yeah, it's spiritual reset, whatever you want to call it. And it works for me that way. But I do recognize, I think to your point as well, like some people can look at this and think like, well, what's the point? Like, what's the motivation to keep doing it? And particularly, like, to be honest, I'm not interested in bodybuilders and people interested in largely aesthetic goals anymore. More, they can obsess over effects that are too tiny for anyone to
We're
care
very
about.
aligned on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but for your general population, that keeping the table set analogy is really nice, I think, and it opens up a lot of freedom for if you're someone who loves training and also loves geeking out and playing with different protocols and things like that. Even if really you don't believe there's any benefit to doing them in terms of outcomes. You just enjoy trying different things, tinkering
Yeah.
with new stuff and things. And to be fair, over the recent years, I've got back into that a little bit as well. Like, so I'll still do a basic, AB bodyweight routine, which I've done for the better part of over a decade. Then maybe once a week, if I've got a bit of time, I'll play with some of the toys that I've accumulated in the garage gym. So I might do some deadlifts. I might even do some squats. I'll do some, weight drop set dips and pull. I'll do whatever and play around with some different exercises. But again, it's more just because I enjoy that. And so having that flexibility to like, look, if you're one of these people who wants to motivate yourself by playing with different protocols and things like that, you can do that. If you're someone who doesn't, then suddenly it's like I can do the most basic routine ever, and it's pretty much going to get me everything I'm going to get, and it's going to maintain everything that I'm going to get over time. I don't particularly like exercise, so great, go with the super efficiency approach and treat it like brushing. No one enjoys brushing. Well, maybe some people do. It just becomes, I've got to do this to keep the table laid and ward off the aging effects.